ahead in the second half, and they took care of things 41-25. Will Fuller had 171 yards, 2 TDs. Sean Watson, 17-25, 4 TDs, 318 yards. There's a reason that Romeo Crennel, when asked at the trade deadline why he didn't trade Will Fuller and some of the other players, is I didn't get the deluxe nut package. And Will Fuller is he's his own deluxe nut package. So you can see why they kept him. And definitely Houston is underperforming this season. Everyone who follows NFL will probably know that in the AFC South there, they definitely had a chance as they started the season, to make a run at things like the Colts are doing, but things just haven't clicked for them this year for some reason. And it's really not going to help them winning now because it's just going to take them out of the draft lottery. I don't think anyone's going to catch the New York Jets because they're just terrible. But definitely hurting Houston's draft, lottery or their draft standings with winning now. The second game just wrapped up right now, and that's why my colleagues haven't joined me yet here, hoping to join our big boss man Van and Nate No Remorse Dowdy. So we'll wait for those guys. But the second game saw an NFC East clash, as we normally get on Thanksgiving down in the States, and that was the Dallas Cowboys against the Washington football team. Oh, Dallas. Geez, you thought it was a problem with your coach last year? I guess there's a problem with your coach this year. I mean, it might run up to the Jerry Jones. It might be something to do with him. But, I'll give you guys a little bit of a pass for injuries this year with Dak Prescott obviously going down. But, a 41-16 loss to Washington on Thanksgiving, if that doesn't call and shout for change in Dallas, I really don't know what will, and I don't know what Dallas fans are going to get. I mean, CeeDee Lamb had a couple drops today, but he looked good overall. He's looked really good this year as a rookie. Definitely one of my top 3 or 4 rookie wide receivers in a really, really strong class. So, it's really disappointing to see Dallas. I mean, they're obviously still in the hunt. They're 3-8 now. And they're 1 game behind the division leaders, Washington, who are 4-7. So what a terrible division. I'm so glad that I'm not a Cowboys fan. Now, the Cowboys fans are supposed to join me, and hopefully they can come on and, rebut some of this and tell me why the Cowboys aren't so terrible. Why Ezekiel Elliott's only getting 33 yards on 10 carries. I know that there's injuries to the offensive line. I'm seeing that guy. I'm seeing that stuff. I'm not oblivious to it, but really the offensive weapons that Dallas has, and even with their hampered offensive line, there's no reason why Ezekiel Elliott's getting 33 yards on 10 carries. That's ridiculous. You're paying this man the big money. Andy Dalton as a backup, he played well today. He had the one interception, or the interception like I was talking about, as it seemed to be a theme for today's games. Montrez Sweat just jumped, literally leaped right up at the end of the game and pretty much seal things for Washington, and picked it off, ran it back for a pick 6. The Andy Dalton thing, I don't know. He's a good quarterback. He's shown flashes in Cincinnati. We've seen him, kind of, I guess, lead teams to the playoffs. But I don't know if the Red Rifle, as I like to call him, my nickname for him, which was amply made fun of by Sports Talkline. Of course, they say that it sounded like a new Pringles flavor. So that will be available in Canada. The Red Rifle Pringle chip. In honor of the Dallas Cowboys and Andy Dalton. So I don't know. I mean, going to chat with my producer here. I don't have the live show up as we're doing the live stream. So I should probably have the live thing up so I can talk to you guys. There it is right there. But I'm waiting on my colleagues that I thought were going to join me up here, but I see we got lots of chat going on here. And so I'll kind of get into that as I see Sanavio Rodriguez is talking. He's get a QB. Gilbert his chance. Want to see Rico Dowd. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, definitely, moving down the list of quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if you're going to go that far, what are you guys' thoughts on? I mean, I know Dallas isn't going to do it, obviously, but what are your thoughts on maybe Dallas bringing someone like Colin Kaepernick? I mean, he's released videos. He's obviously ready to go. He was working out with receiver Eric Reed and things like. I mean, it sounds like it's not going to matter if they don't have an O line to go with things, but who knows? I was really looking forward to tonight's third game, the Baltimore Ravens against Pittsburgh Steelers, so I could watch the Canadian phenom Mapletron, as we like to call him up here, Chase Claypool. But that game has been postponed to Sunday, so obviously the NFL was able to get through a couple weeks without scheduling issues, but they're back with some COVID stuff, and they will have to push through it. And hopefully we won't get any more postponements or anything like that, because I definitely haven't been enjoying this year's NFL, and I hope that you have been too. Yes, I am Canadian. Thank you. And I'm terrible with names. I pointed this out. I had a guest on my show months ago, and I pointed out I absolutely just butchered his name. So, no, that one is actually going to still be on Thursday. That it sounds like, or it'll still be on the Sunday. The Dallas Baltimore game. They're not going to push that back or flex it at all, which is kind of interesting in my opinion, because you have the ability to flex games back. You have to push them back. We've already seen Tuesday games, to give, you're really limiting rest in this one for one of the teams. So it's a curious decision by the NFL. Well, thank you, Seneo. I hope I pronounced it right that time. Probably not again. So we were hoping to get more NFL games, but and I was hoping to get some of my colleagues, Van and stuff. Lee, do we know where they are? If they're going to join on their live reaction show? Because I did my show earlier and it was fantastic. If you missed it, go back and check that out. My conversation with Eric Smith. Okay, well, since I'm here leading it, I'm going to talk about the LA Rams game coming up this Sunday. And if you want to talk about a specific game, let me know. I got my phone open. I can see your comments going on. I want to talk about the Rams 49ers games because the Rams have kind of moved into second seed in the NFC West. Looking back from like the Super Bowl team from 2 years ago. So I'm excited to see that. They should be able to handle the 49ers. But again, I said that the last time they played the 49ers. I think the Rams are legit, and I think they are legit because of the defense. I mean, if you look at the defensive numbers, they're tops in the league in most categories, and then the defensive adjustments that defensive coordinator Brandon Staley is able to make at halftime. Last game against Tampa Bay was the first time that they allowed 10 points in a second half, and they were still able to win the game. Sean McVay's 32-0 now when leading at half and going after Bill Belichick's record of, I think, like something ridiculous, 48-0 or something. So there's a long way to get to that. And if you look at that, if you look at the defense, Aaron Donald, for 2 weeks now, I think he hasn't had a tackle, a sack, or a QB hit. And the Rams have won both games. And that was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady, one of the top teams in the NFC West, and against the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, again, one of the top teams in the NFC. So it just goes to say, kind of the disruption that Aaron Donald can cause without even doing anything, almost like on the score sheet, on the stat board. Like, if you're watching it, he's getting double teamed, he's getting triple teamed. It's just providing so much more opportunity for blockers. Mekhi Kaiser is going to be injured for next game, unfortunately, and it sounds like he won't be able to go. But the defense is looking good, and then Jalen Ramsey and Darius Williams in the secondary are really shutting things down. Jordan Fuller, rookie, had a breakout game last game with the 2 picks. So, I definitely see the Rams up there, as the top echelon of the NFC with teams like the New Orleans Saints. Even though Drew Brees went down with an injury, I still have them up there as the top. The Green Bay Packers, that kind of ran into a little bit of a spell here, but the Green Bay Packers, and as long as they have Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be performing with the top teams in the league. And the Seattle Seahawks too is another team that I put up there in that kind of the upper echelon. I don't know about the Tampa Bay Bucks. Seems like Tom Brady this year has really faltered in like spotlight games. In his primetime games, he's 1-3 this season, and that's un-Tom Brady-esque almost. Okay, so I'm going to check back on the chat here as I wait for some people that probably aren't even going to come and join me to join me, but that's fine. One of the things that you can actually do is, I should pump this right now. If you hit that big blue join button, there's lots of extra perks that you can get. So we'll actually bring you on the shows, and you can talk NFL or say soccer with us, or NBA, or I see my producer has the big Arsenal logo, or you can talk on the Saved by the Bellerin pod with the guys. So there's some really great perks you can get with that if you hit that big blue join button and subscribe. So, yes, Tampa has a dangerous offense is the only thing of it. I mean, their defense, it's gotten better. It's looked good, but I don't know if all the pieces in Tampa are going to go. And especially, like, they're going to have to come up against a team that's already beat them when they get to the playoffs. So it's such an interesting, was it Tom Brady? Was it Bill Belichick? Was it the combination of both? Because, I mean, Bill Belichick's not having any success on the other side with the New England Patriots, but we're seeing Tom Brady, get some good success with obviously more weapons around him on offense. Didn't really have much except for Houston, and they're not going to be doing much in the AFC, but the AFC is kind of an interesting conference. Besides the Pittsburgh Steelers that are 10-0 undefeated, and the Kansas City Chiefs at 9-1 I don't really see any other teams that are kind of pushing those two. I think that's probably going to be the conference championship. Tennessee started the season off really good, but I think that teams have kind of figured out that if you shut down Derrick Henry, then Ryan Tannehill's not going to be able to beat you. He's not that good of a quarterback that he'll be able to beat you if you're able to shut down the run. Baltimore's having some problems right now. They're not even, they're third in their division behind the Browns. They're not able to run the ball as effectively as they were last year, and it's causing a lot of problems for Lamar Jackson, as he's, again, teams have kind of figured out the game plan against Baltimore when they face Lamar Jackson. So the Browns are the Browns. So I'm not going to – they'll make the playoffs, but who knows what they'll do. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills – They could be legit. They could be the real deal. I don't think that they're as good as, the top teams in the AFC, but it seems like Josh Allen knows how to win games. And he's also very, very mobile in the pocket, and is kind of giving them more options. The pickup of Stephon Diggs was obviously instrumental in their success this year, as they look to pretty much have the AFC East all wrapped up after Miami's falter here. Miami was a team that I really liked with Tua Tagovailoa. Tongue twister. But they kind of had a bad game there and lost on the weekend, and also he was benched for Fitzmagic. So that's an interesting one in Miami. They're still in the hunt for playoffs. They're right up there. A really good game from this weekend was the Sunday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. That one it came right down to the wire again. Oakland looked to take both games against Kansas City this year, but Kansas City held off Patrick Mahomes. Beautiful drive at the end of the game. Is there a quarterback that you would rather have right now than Patrick Mahomes? Because I can't think of anyone. Like, if I'm in the last 2 minutes of a game and my team's behind and I need a touchdown, Patrick Mahomes is the guy I want. Maybe Russell Wilson second right now. Obviously, you have to throw Brady in that conversation, but unless he's going against Jordan Fuller and he throws the ball right to him. But yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes he's something special this year. I can't see it. The MVP is his to lose, especially with their record right now. I mean, he's got 2 interceptions, 28 touchdowns. It's just ridiculous. Moving along down that conference or down that division, besides Oakland, the Chargers, they're an interesting team. We've seen some nice play from the rookie Justin Herbert, but I don't think we're going to see much from them this year. And then Denver too, they've had their flashes, but I think Denver's trying to figure out their identity as well. Yeah, Henry is worth the money, yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, when the teams are keying in on Derrick Henry and they're putting 10 people in the box and they're saying, "Go ahead, Ryan Tannehill, try and do your dropbacks, or if you do play action, we're just going to come and smother you." And if you're going to do your dropbacks, then we think that you're not as good as our corners one-on-one. And it's kind of been proven in the last 3 or 4 games with just kind of Tennessee not looking good, not looking like a team that made the conference finals last year, right? I don't know how Oakland wins. I'm just here for some. I'm not going to tell you how Oakland wins. I'm not going to tell you why Dallas is so terrible. I can't figure that stuff out. It's beyond my pay grade. Was it like I said, I was hoping to get some of the Dallas Cowboy guys on, but obviously they're just sulking and lamenting in the terrible 41-6. Oh, 41. It was closer in the second half. It was really close, and then that pick six just took it all away. Like, no one really impressed. But yeah, it was a terrible. I hope that my friends in the States would have gotten a little bit better football for their Thanksgiving, because I think I remember on the Canadian Thanksgiving, we had some pretty good football games going. So I'm going to wrap it up here pretty quick. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the NFL Live Reaction Show on this Thanksgiving Thursday. My name is Joshua Griffith, and make sure you check out my show, the Unnamed Sports Show. Today, I had a fantastic guest on, Eric Smith, play-by-play and sideline reporter for the Toronto Raptors, also works for Sportsnet. And he stopped by and we chatted Toronto Raptors, the Fred VanVleet contract, the signing of Aaron Baines and Alex Len, and just kind of get you caught up in NBA news. Also, I got a couple other great guests lined up for next week. So if you are a Vancouver Canucks fan or a hockey fan, you're going to want to stay tuned for next week's show. I'm not going to necessarily tell you who's on the show. You're going to have to leave you guessing. You might want to check my Twitter at Joshua Griffith0, and you might get a little bit of an idea of who my guest is going to be on that show. So for the Sports Talk Line Network, this has been the Live Reaction NFL Thursday show. So thank you very much for joining me. I have been Joshua Griffith. Remember to like the video down at the bottom, subscribe, hit the big blue join button, all that fun stuff. Tune into all our other great shows. And so for the Sports Talk Line Network, we talk sports 24/7, 365.